Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. Joe Madden here, and it's time for All-Jo Madden over here on Picks and Parlays. Now, we've got a loaded show today. Dre Rich will be stepping in as well as Jesse Schultz to go over everything that you need to know, not only on today's slate, but there are a couple games that we will look ahead to. It is week 5 in the NFL. We've got Thursday night football. The San Francisco 49ers are taking on the LA Rams. A large movement in those lines there. And if you're looking to shop those lines, head on over to oddslogic.com to make sure you get the best of the numbers. But you guys, 8.5 is now that spread between these two teams, with the Rams laying it at home. Injury concerns out there for the 49ers has pushed that line, with players not playing, like, well, Brock Purdy not making the lineup with that toe still bugging him. We will see Mac Jones under center. Interesting, though, Mac Jones has won both of the starts he started for the 49ers this year. So this is a divisional NFC West clash out there on a Thursday night primetime game. So we're going to jump into that with the guys. We also have MLB rolling here. We got the playoffs, you guys. The Dodgers took out the Cincinnati Reds yesterday. They will be advancing Saturday to take on the Phillies. We will see game 3 between Detroit and Cleveland, the San Diego Padres and the Cubs, and the Red Sox and the Yankees. I got some trends. I got some stats for you. We'll be going over these games with the guys as well. Now, also, there's a college football game out there that we can't forget about. I have best bets in this one. Sam Houston State versus New Mexico State. This one has a total of 53.5. Couple of things I'll be looking at in this game, so don't go anywhere. While I've got you here, you guys, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and notification button over here on YouTube so you know when the shows kick off. Now, we kick off Monday, Thursday, and Fridays currently 11 a.m. Eastern. You can catch Allie Burns and Total Chaos during the week 3 times a week as well as all of the free pick videos over here on Picks and Parlays. So make sure you do subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you know when everything is dropping. Now, if you're looking for the handicappers' best bets from picksandparlays.net, head on over to picksandparlays.net. Friday, tomorrow, there is a $7 special from all participating handicappers at picksandparlays.net. Their best bet for just $7. And then if you're looking for those football plays, you guys, that Weekend Warrior running again this weekend. This weekend, get every football play from your Picks and Parlays handicapper of choice for Saturday and Sunday. You guys, it's only $49. As an added bonus, you will get Mondays at no extra cost. Okay. So let's jump into what we've got going on today, you guys. In the chat, make sure you do drop your questions, drop your comments there. Let us know who you're liking in Thursday Night Football, who you're liking in MLB. If you've got a World Series prediction, drop it in the chat. Let everyone know those parlays that you're liking. There's bragging rights on the line, you guys, and I want to hear your thoughts on these games. So firstly, we're going to bring in Dre Rich to see what he is liking, what he's got on his slate today. Then Jesse Schultz will come in, and then we'll follow it with Fade or Follow the Madden plays out here today. So let's bring in Dre Rich. Dre, welcome to the show.
Hey, Joe. Thanks for having me on again.
Absolutely excited to have you here. It is Thursday. That means we get to see you. We're going to talk Thursday Night Football. We're going to talk MLB. And I know you're looking ahead to a college game on Saturday. And it's a big one. It's a big spread, but you have a pick for us in that. Let's firstly jump into Thursday Night Football. We're seeing the movement out there for this line with injuries and players not playing tonight for the 49ers. The Rams now at 8.5-point favorite in this one. Dre, how many points is just too many points to lay with the Rams here? Total still right around that 44.5.
I think this is about right, especially with the Mac Jones starting. He's not a good quarterback. We all know that, but he's going to keep things competitive. He's not going to give up. He's going to keep going through whatever struggles he's going through during this game. But I do like the 8.5 with the Rams. I would take this up to 10. 9.5 is the safest bet for me, but just to get a little bit more plus money. But I think the Rams should win this game convincingly, especially with all the injuries that the Niners are dealing with. And I don't trust the Niners against the run. They've allowed a lot of runs to the likes of Alvin Kamara, who went over 100 yards, almost over 100 yards, but had over 100 yards receiving and running. And ETN, Travis Etienne for and trust them to contain Kyron Williams, and they should win this game convincingly. But I think the under is a great option as well. Jordan Whittington for the Rams. He's the third or fourth string receiver. This line has gone up. It was 13. It was opened up at 10 and a half, and now it's at 13 and a half receiving yards on some books, even 15 and a half on some books. He's going to be able to get at least 2 catches in this game. He's caught 5 of his 6 catches of his 6 targets this season. So it's going to be easy for him. And then garbage time, he will get looked at. Eddie Pinheiro, over 1.5 field goals made. That's an easy one for me. I don't see them getting a lot of red zone scores in this game, but Eddie Pinheiro has made 2 or more field goals in every game this season. I think he keeps it going in this game with a coach like Shanahan, who needs to get every point that counts. And McCaffrey under 121.5 total yards. This Mac Jones start is going to make things way harder on this 49ers offense, and it makes them more predictable, honestly. So McCaffrey is not going to get over 80 yards rushing, and his receiving yards will probably be more than his rushing yards. So I'm taking the under on his total yards.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you, Dre, where you're looking with CMC to have those struggles out there, because we know on the season, he just hasn't been running the ball like we've seen in the past. We did see him lead the 49ers last week in receiving yards, which is not like CMC. We know he normally gets that workload on the ground. Do you expect him to have more receptions or more rushing yards in this game, because he has been used as a receiver more than a true running back?
I definitely see more receiving yards in this game. We've seen running backs like Jonathan Taylor be used more in the passing game against the Rams, and McCaffrey is one of the best pass catching running backs in the league. So I can see him getting a lot of receptions, and then that's going to add up to the receiving yards for sure.
Okay, so Jesse's got a question. Should we take FB backup B Rob Jr. over for his rushing yards?
I do like Brian Robinson Jr. today. I think that especially in a script where they're losing by a lot to the Rams, and they want to conserve McCaffrey by all costs. Brian Robinson is a guy who was traded on the team. He hasn't gotten a lot of work, but in the game script basis, he could definitely get a lot of touches in this game.
Yeah, they're just not wanting to run a CMC on the ground, like Jesse was saying. It'll be interesting to see the game plan they do come out with CMC within this one. And if Mac Jones is going to have that time in the pocket with question marks around his offensive line in front of him. This one has a total of 44.5. You're liking it to the under. You did get it when it was at 45.5. How low would you go? Are you still comfortable with the 44.5 with that line movement? There are 45s out there, you guys. You're just going to have to shop it.
I'm even more inclined to take the under in this game with it being 44.5 because of Mac Jones. The 45 was whenever they were predicting that Brock Purdy would be playing. And I think Brock Purdy would have made it a lot better of a game and a lot tougher to take the under, but I still took that. So I'm still inclined to take it now at 44.5 as well.
Okay, that is great to hear. Now, I just want to remind everyone that is watching over on YouTube watching over on X and Instagram to make sure you do go on over to YouTube if you want to join the live chat over there. You don't want to miss out on dropping those questions, those comments for us on the show on All-Jo Madden. You can ask Dre your questions over here. Jesse Shows will be coming up as well. You throw in those questions. So if you're on IG, if you're on X, make sure you do come over to Picks and Parlays on YouTube, and you can get into that live chat. But we have so much to go over today, Dre. Let's just quickly, one more time, run over your best bets in Thursday night football.
I like the 49ers and Rams to go under the total of 45.5. I love Eddie Pinheiro to have 2 field goals made, over 1.5. And I like Jordan Whittington to have over 13 and a half receiving yards, and McCaffrey to go under his total yards of 121 and a half.
Okay, great way to look there. Now, MLB, we saw the Dodgers close it out yesterday. Were you shocked? Because I just wasn't. I expected the Dodgers to get through. For me, it's the Dodgers and the Yankees that are always teams that they show up big in the playoffs. Were you shocked with that outcome? And how do you think they'll do looking ahead versus the Phillies?
I was not shocked at all by this win for the Dodgers. If you follow the site, I had the Dodgers winning the series into, and I also had the Dodgers to win last game and the first game by a run and a half. And it's just the Reds don't have enough uh, reliable pitchers and batting support to support those pitchers. And I knew when they started Zach Littell that it was going to be over for them.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's going to be great to see that matchup between the Dodgers and the Phillies again, that kicking off at 6 p.m. Eastern, I believe it is on Saturday. But we've got games out there today, and I know you're looking at a couple of these. We will see game 3 between the Detroit Tigers and the Cleveland Guardians, the San Diego Padres and the Chicago Cubs, and the Boston Red Sox versus the New York Yankees. Now, when we're looking at those lines, the Yankees are the biggest favorite today at minus 162 to get the win. And these totals sitting around 7.5 for the two later games, the earlier game at 309 between the Tigers and the Guardians. You got that solid 7 there with the great pitching matchup. Now, Dre, which games are you looking at? I know you got 2 of them for us.
Yes, I really like the Cubs to win this game against the Padres. Yu Darvish is starting for the Padres, and he's so inconsistent on the road. He's a 7.26 ERA and only 27 Ks in the 31 away innings he's pitched. He's averaging a hit allowed per inning, and this Cubs rotation is so dangerous. Jameson Taillon, he's starting on the mound for the Cubs, and he's much more trusting in this spot, especially at home. He's a 3.05 ERA, a 191 batting average allowed to left-handed batters, which eliminates the worry for 4 of the big hitters for the Padres immediately. And you just can't trust the Padres fielding unit in a win or go home situation with a pitcher like Darvish, who's going to give the fielding unit too many opportunities to make a mistake. And so I have to take the Cubs money line here.
Okay, rolling with the Cubs there on the money line. Yodavish over 1.5 runs allowed, and Jameis Taillon over 9.5 outs recorded. Is that right?
Yes, definitely. I like Jameson to pitch along innings this game because of the trustworthiness that they have in him, and I don't really trust the bullpen for the Cubs, so I think to give him a long leash today, and he's going to have over 9.5 pitching outs. And Yu Darvish, like I said, inconsistencies, he's going to give up runs, so over 1.5 for sure.
Okay, so let's talk this Boston Red Sox and New York Yankees game. I had the Yankees moving through. I expected them to finish it off in 2, not going to lie. But here we are, game 3. They're a minus 162 favorite, and this line has been bouncing around. It was up to minus 172 at one point. I know there is value here on the Boston Red Sox at plus 136, but I just can't see them taking the win over the New York Yankees. These players for the Yankees can step up in situations. Biggest question mark for the long term of the Yankees here in the playoffs is how is Judge going to look for the entirety of it? Where are we going? How are we making money in this one?
So it's not good. It's not good money to take the Yankees money line, but I do like the Yankees to win this game outright. I would not be shy. I would not be shy to take the Yankees on the run line minus 1.5. But just for the purpose of the show, I like Yankees money line. These are just 2 pitchers on the mound. They're young rookies, but Schlittler for the Yankees is much more seasoned. He's pitched 73 innings this season compared to Connolly Early, who's only pitched 19 innings this season. I think Connolly is a better pitcher overall than Schlittler. I'm a Boston Red Sox fan, so I'm not being biased at all when I say that it's not going to be a good time for him against this right-handed batting heavy Yankees team, who it's the main weakness for Connolly early, and he's going to allow hits tonight into the innings he's pitched, and who knows how long of a leash he'll have being his young unseasoned self. And the bullpen for the Red Sox, I do not trust our bullpen. So I really think that they should have let Brian Bayo pitch this game, and I would have started Connolly early last game just because we knew we weren't going to win both games back to back. I knew we weren't going to beat the Yankees in the first 2 games of this series, so they kind of did it backwards, in my opinion. But I'm rooting for Boston, but we're not going to win this game.
Yeah, I can see that your heart is with the Boston Red Sox, but I'm with you. I think the Yankees do get it done. It will be interesting to see who can step up for the Red Sox and what we're going to see out of that total there. The Yankees are a team that can come out. They can put those runs on the board in certain situations if the homers are hitting. So let's see what the offense has. But I know we're going to look at a college football game here. And you guys, Jesse Scholes will be up next. We're going to look at the football game for Saturday between Kentucky and Georgia. Now, the Bulldogs, a large favorite in this one. Where are you finding the value?
I don't think 20 points is too much of a stretch for this Georgia team, who came off a loss to Bama last week, a close loss to Bama. It's Georgia all the way here. They're looking for another big bounce back win. Just because they have to show how good they are in the committee's eyes. Seeing that they're a one-loss team, it's going to be hard for them to get into the playoffs if people are going to remain undefeated this season. Kentucky's offense is not fearing at all, especially on the road. They only scored 13 points against South Carolina in their last road game, and they lost by 22. And I think Georgia's much better than South Carolina. So they're going to beat them by much more than 20 points in this game. Georgia's defense is better at home as well. And the UK in Kentucky, they have a quarterback issue right now. They have a hurt quarterback and a quarterback who's behind him who's not good at all. So it's going to be hard for them to choose which one they choose to start this game. But we know that Kentucky's a run-reliant team. Georgia is a run-stopping defense. And so the reason why Bama won that game last week is because Bama passed the ball very well. And we've seen Georgia stop Bama from running the ball. They had under 100 yards rushing, and they stopped Tennessee's running back, Star Thomas, who is a superstar to be. He ran for under 100 yards as well on Georgia. So Georgia's going to be able to keep them one-dimensional and win this game easily by over 20 points.
Okay, laying the big points with Georgia versus Kentucky this weekend, laying the 20. If this line starts to move with more people coming in on Georgia, what number would you feel comfortable taking it up to, Dre?
I think it won't go up too much, being that this is a team that has given Georgia problems, mainly on the road at Kentucky. They give Georgia problems. But in a home spot, it probably might go up to like 22.5. I would think that we beat them by 25 points.
Okay. Well, all the best in that bet and all of your bets that you have going for Thursday Night Football for MLB today. Let's go Yankees. We've got a loaded slate of everything going on. But Dre, I appreciate your time over here on All-Jo Madden on Picks and Parlays. What have you got up for sale, and are you part of the Weekend Warrior package? I'm assuming so.
Oh, I'm definitely part of the Weekend Warrior package. Thanks to you for giving me the spotlight on Thursdays. We cashed last week on the Auburn plus 6.5. And so we're just giving out those bets on the site. And I'm also 3-0 right now in the playoffs for baseball. So check me out on the site and my podcast, Money Huddle. We are on YouTube and Spotify. So check us out there too for some football free bets.
Awesome. Thank you, Dre, so much. You guys head on over to picksandparlays.net to grab Dre Rich's packages over there. Dre, crush the books today.
Thank you. See ya.
See ya. Okay, you guys, that was a Dre Rich. Make sure you do go over to picksandparlays.net. Show them some love. His packages are all up for sale. And as we talk about those packages, grab the best bets from your handicapper of choice, participating handicappers for just $7 this Friday. And then when you're looking at those weekend packages, you want to make sure on those weekend packages, if you're into football, which I'm assuming you guys are, the Picks and Parlays handicapper of your choice, you can get their Saturday and Sunday plays for just $49. And at no added cost, they will give you Monday's plays as well. You're going to see all the leaderboards over there in Picks and Parlays. These guys are lighting it up, and that's why they're on the show here. So you definitely want to go over and check out those plays over there. Now, we haven't had a chance to go over X versus the books, you guys. Thursday night football, where the public on X is coming in on the Thursday night game and where the books need the money to go. So looking at this one, X versus the books right now, pretty split with the 49ers and the Rams. 49ers plus 8.5 getting 24% of the love. The Rams laying the 8.5 getting 34%. And that over under, well, majority of people going to the under when we look at that at 24%, only 18 liking that one over the 44.5. I've got bets in this, and so does Jesse Scholes. We're going to go over what he had to say. Dre Rich came in here, given that support, given the love to the LA Rams and the under 44.5. Now, we did see that line move from 45.5 with the notice of these players definitely missing the game, but I still think if you're liking an under, that 1 point difference for me isn't going to make much of a difference in this matchup. But we're going to continue to look at that X versus the books. So make sure you go on over to Joe Madden Sports on X to get those votes in. And if you guys, again, if you're watching on Insta, if you're watching on X, because I see so many of you guys tuning in over there, come on over to YouTube. I want to see what you're betting today. I want to hear your questions, your comments for Jesse Scholes as we bring him into the show here. It's going to be a great day. Let's see what he's got today. Jesse, happy Thursday.
Thanks for having me. I got plenty to say about this football game. So mic check. Am I coming in loud and clear? Because like I said, I plan on unloading about this game.
Okay, you're going to unload. I'm going to give you the full screen to unload. I'll probably walk downstairs, top up my coffee, and I'll be back in 5 minutes. No, I'm just joking. I got my coffee on my desk. You know I'm not going anywhere.
Okay, well, I started looking at this game early, and it opened at 3.5. And we knew at that point that Purdy might not play. We also knew that Jennings and Pearsall were questionable. And at 3.5, maybe I lean Rams. I mean, I'm not going to debate with people that the Rams aren't the better team. The Rams are certainly the better team. Matthew Stafford's certainly the better quarterback. But beware of betting favorites in divisional games. And so it went up to 5.5. And then I started to get interested in San Francisco. And at that point, I said, listen, Mac Jones statistically has been better than Brock Purdy so far. And to me, if they were going to play a hurt Brock Purdy, a guy that's not 100% and he's able to play, that's bad news if you like San Francisco. But a healthy Mac Jones, I think that's fantastic news. And as far as Jawan Jennings and Ricky Pearsall, let's be honest with ourselves. These guys aren't exactly Hall of Famers. Would either of those guys start for any playoff caliber team in the NFL? I say absolutely not. I think they're basically third string receivers on a good team. And yeah, so they're going to be replaced by other guys that are basically the same, third string quality receivers. One of those guys is a guy named Kendrick Bourne. And Kendrick Bourne is a journeyman who's been around the league. He set career highs in 2021 with the New England Patriots. He had 55 receptions and 800 yards, second leading receiver for the Patriots that season. Guess who his quarterback was? One Mac Jones. In 2021, as a rookie, Mac Jones throws for 3,800 yards and 22 touchdowns. My man Dre Rich said some things about Mac Jones, and I'm going to have to agree to disagree with him. I liked his baseball picks. I'm glad that we could agree on Brian Robinson Jr., but I think we'll draw the line right there because I'm going to caution against betting the Rams at this inflated number. To me, Brock Purdy, would he start for a playoff caliber team? I don't think so. Name me a playoff team in the NFL that wants to trade their quarterback for Brock Purdy right now, because I think you won't find one. I'm not trying to slander Brock Purdy. He's, he fits in a system. When he's got weapons around him, he could be a serviceable quarterback. Well, so can Mac Jones. I mean, Mac Jones' struggles in New England probably say a lot more about New England than they say about Mac Jones, as evidenced by the success we're seeing Daniel Jones have after he got out of a poor situation in New York, and now he's in Indy. Let's talk about the injuries. San Francisco has been one of the most injured teams in the NFL all the way back to the beginning of last season. They've had tons of guys out. Purdy's missed time. CMC's missed time. Bosa's barely ever been healthy. Kittle's barely ever been healthy. So they've dealt with injuries. And during that span, dating back to week 1 of last season, they've played 21 games. They've only lost 5 games by 7 or more points. Guess how many of those were divisional games? Just 1 in the final week of last season with the backups playing against Arizona. So you're going to tell me a line that opens at 3.5 and Jawan Jennings and Ricky Pearsall are out, you're going to bet into it -9? Absolute garbage, in my opinion. I think the public is setting themselves up to get slaughtered. And I think we could take advantage of the player prop market here. I think Mac Jones' number is low. I think, as I mentioned, Kendrick Bourne was his wide receiver too in New England in his rookie season. So there's some chemistry there. Kendrick Bourne over 3.5 receptions is, I think, the best free pick I can put out on this show. I've got a 5-pack of plays at Picks and Parlays. 3 of them are props on this game. You're going to want to get that for $39 tonight.
Yeah, you definitely want to go over and jump on that. I didn't realize Kendrick Bourne was his wide receiver number 2 in his rookie year, Jesse. You're always coming with some great information. It's really interesting that Mac Jones is getting so much hate, especially when he's been able to get 2 wins here for the 49ers in his 2 starts. He's been able to come out solid. His passing rate, he's had a 4-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio, completing 66% of his passes. So he deserves a little bit more love, but you're right. The bias of these quarterbacks going into new teams sticks with them from what we saw. What are your thoughts then on Sam Darnold? I have to ask those thoughts because we know he struggled. He saw ghosts with the Jets, right? He then went to the Vikings. We saw him have so much success with the Vikings, now with the Seahawks. I'm impressed with Sam Darnold. I liked him from the college days. Is he another quarterback that just gets a bad rep because of his time with the Jets?
I will say earlier this season, I put out a take on Sam Darnold in a game that I was betting on him on the Seahawks. And I'd mentioned his first couple games with Seattle, he looked pretty good. And he's continued to look good. So I don't want to slander Sam Darnold, but coming into this season, in the offseason, I thought it was a terrible move for Seattle picking him up. I thought that, he's a guy that comes out of Minnesota. We've seen below average quarterbacks have success in Minnesota when they're throwing a Justin Jefferson and that star-studded offense with a great offensive coordinator. So I wasn't high on Sam Darnold. He's not a guy that I really like, but you got to give a guy credit where credit is due. And landing in Seattle seems like a good fit so far. I like Seattle this week. Sam Darnold's a guy that I've been forced to change my opinion on.
Yeah, Sam Darnold. I just have the faith in him. Is there any quarterbacks out there, Jesse, that really stand out to you as it's not the team, it's not the coaching, it's not that offensive line? You just don't have faith in them as a quarterback.
Well, I've somewhat notorious for being not fond of Kyler Murray. I think that, 4 years ago, he was running the ball a lot. He was, a poor man's Lamar Jackson type of guy. And, he's not running the ball as effectively as he once was. And there's that contract dispute where they had to put a clause in his contract to force him to watch film. Says a lot about his work ethic. And then last week, he was going into the stadium. I saw a clip of him carrying a couple purses. I'm not a big fan of the purses, but I know a lot of guys wear them. But in that clip, he looked a little bit heavy. Like for a guy that's supposed to be a mobile quarterback, he looked a little heavy. Like he's sort of not keeping up with his conditioning. So I'm not a big fan of Kyler Murray. I've never been a big Lamar guy. I mean, Lamar does a lot of great things. I mean, he's an MVP candidate every year, but he doesn't exactly get it done in the playoffs. There is that knock to him. Let me see. I don't know.
Okay, I've got to ask you a couple of guys. Okay, I got to ask you. I completely agree with you. With Kyler Murray, I love Lamar. I think he has the talent out there, but I want to hear about Shedeur Sanders. What's your thoughts on Shedeur? Because we know he's pretty high on himself. He's still listed as the third quarterback there. Do you think Shedeur Sanders is better than people are expecting, or is he in that third role for a reason?
It's very complex. There's a lot to dislike about Shedeur and the whole drama that comes with it. But if you drafted him, you should have known what you were getting. They drafted him. So if they drafted him, why the hell isn't he starting? Because I got to say, he's better than Dylan Gabriel. I mean, I think if Shedeur was starting this week, I might be inclined to bet on the Browns. If Dylan Gabriel's starting, I'm definitely betting against the Browns. I mean, Dylan Gabriel did not look good in the preseason. Shedeur had his moments. It looked like they were trying to stack the deck against him. I know that he's got, potential attitude problems, but like I said, if you drafted him, you knew what you were getting. So let the kid play, let it all play out on the field.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's rumors that the Ravens were interested in him, but he didn't want to sit behind Lamar. Like, there's so much drama behind him, and now he is sitting in that third position. One more question about a young rookie quarterback out here. Jackson Dart, we saw him come in and get that win at home versus the LA Chargers. The LA Chargers off 3 huge games out there, Jesse. Divisional matchups, getting those wins. It was a letdown spot in my mind already. And then we had Joe Alt go out of the lineup, and I wanted to turn off the TV. I just couldn't see them being able to get things done in that game, in the situational spot they're in. Jackson Dart looked great. He used his legs 10 times for 54 yards. He was really cocky after that. I'm not sure if you saw the social media post that he automatically deleted within 30 seconds, right? He's flipping the bird. He's calling out Justin Herbert's girlfriend, Beer. I can't remember. Madison Beer?
Madison Beer, yeah.
Yeah. He's calling her out to come see him, right? Like, is he too cocky for his is the statement Bridges?
What's too cocky? I mean, he's a young kid, fresh out of college. Cam Scadaboo's also that kind of guy. He's cocky too. Though. And I saw them both, their antics. To be honest, I love it. I love what's going on there with the Giants. I don't want to make any long-term projections for Jackson Dart. There's a lot to be sorted out there, whether he has a future as a starter in the NFL. But short term, the energy it's these kind of things that you mentioned that will spark this team to completely turn around. And for at least a 2, 3, 4 game period, I think they're a bet on team obviously his teammates love him. Him and Scadaboo are already like peas in a pod. I'll be betting on Scadaboo in some way or shape or form against the Saints this week. I think the Giants are in good shape with Dart, but I think it's only going to last. He's probably going to get hurt before. I don't think he'll last the whole season playing the way he played against the Chargers. That's the knock on that style of quarterback, just like Lamar. I mean, he's always getting hurt as well. And that's probably the reason why Kyler's not running, is he wants to stay healthy and collect checks.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I think I probably would be thinking different on Jackson Dart if it was a game against like Kyler Murray. My Chargers kind of influenced that. He called out my quarterback's girlfriends. I was like, what the heck? And I showed my son and he's like, yeah, I love it. But I do love Scadaboo, and I think Jackson Dart, probably you're right. He has that ability to get injured playing that style of game, but it was great to see what he was able to do in that game. Let's talk some MLB. Were you shocked the Dodgers rolled there, winning the first 2? And how do you think they're going to be versus the Phillies?
I'll take the Phillies. I don't know in which way I'll take, whether it's going to be the series, game 1. I'll have to take a look at that, but I'm down on the Dodgers. I mean, you spend all that money on all that lineup, and you're supposed to be the best team in baseball. They looked rather lethargic in the second half of the season. I'm just not sold on the Dodgers in their attempt to, they should have been the best team in baseball for the last 10 years. And how many World Series do they have to show for it? So, the Phillies, I think have more of that playoff it factor, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I absolutely do. Now, Dre Rich came in here. He talked the Padres and the Cubs, the Red Sox versus the Yankees. You're going to give us your breakdown here for Detroit versus Cleveland. This is the first game kicking off. And in this game, we're going to see, we've got two great pitchers. Flaherty coming out here for the Tigers. This total sitting at 7. It is juiced to the over at -122. We're seeing the Cleveland Guardians. This line is ticking up, and it's ticking up fast. I'm seeing a money line all the way up to -130 on one book. You guys go on over to Odds Logic and shop those lines over there. But what have you got for us in this one?
It's pretty simple. I mean, at the end of the year, the second half of the season, Detroit couldn't win a game to save their lives. They barely won game 1 with their ace on the mound. Without their ace, there's no way you can back this Detroit team against a Cleveland team that was pretty much dead. And then they had to win 20 of their last 25 games to be the hottest team in baseball down the stretch. They're playing awfully well. They busted out in the bottom of the 8th last night for 5 or 6 runs to win that game. The pitching matchup, well, Flaherty in the past has been a solid pitcher. His numbers on the road this year leave a lot to be desired. 3-7 with a 5.27 ERA. And Ciccone, not flashy numbers at all, but over his last 5 starts, 2-1 with a 3.90 ERA. I believe one of those was a win against Detroit. And in 2 starts against Detroit, 1-1 with a 2.25 ERA. So even if you call the pitching matchup a wash, Cleveland's just playing so much better baseball. They're at home. They got the better lineup, the better bullpen, the better managers, just whatever they're doing, it's working a lot better than whatever Detroit's doing. So my money's on Cleveland on a short price here.
Yeah, a nice price there for the Cleveland Guardians. I think they get it done as well, Jesse. But you've been rolling so hot. How are you doing in MLB, in football? I know college football, you're doing great as well. What have you got for sale for us as well?
All right, correction. College football's been, don't even want to talk about it. But
you gave us some great bets, so.
I'm sure I did. I probably know more about college football than any other sport, but right now it's NFL 18-4, 82% for the season. And I got a 5-pack available on the site with 3 NFL picks and 2 Major League Baseball picks. I'm up 50 units on the season with baseball, hitting 61%. So top 3 handicapper on the site with baseball. I'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely. Crushing it over there. You guys head on over to picksandparlays.net to grab Jesse's packages over there. Jesse, all the best in all of your bets today. Thank you. I hope to see you next week.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I hope I wasn't too long-winded.
No, absolutely not. I was able to top up my coffee, have a couple of sips here. It is still 9:38 here at Mountain Standard Time. So I was grateful for that. But you have a wonderful night.
See you later.
Thank you. You guys, that is Jesse Schultz. Make sure you head on over to picksandparlays.net and grab his packages. He's never long-winded. I love all of his breakdowns, thorough breakdowns here on All-Jo Madden on this Thursday. So we've had Dre Rich in, we've had Jesse Schultz in. They are conflicting on the sides of this Thursday night football game. We're going to get into the fade or follow like Madden. Now, I told you guys, there's a college football game out there. We're going to break down. I let the guys break down MLB. I looked at that game with the Yankees, and I thought they'd get the win. I'm not laying that kind of juice, so I wanted to stay off that. I love where they're going with their bets there, but we're going to jump into what I'm liking out there for college football as well as this Thursday night football game. So let's jump into the college football game first. This is Sam Houston State versus New Mexico State, you guys. Has a total of 53.5. Now in this one, my bet right out of the gate, I'm just going to give you the bet right out of the gate. I know some of you just don't want to stay around for the breakdown. Here is my picture here. So New Mexico State, I think, has every ability to get the win. They're coming in at plus 116 on the money line. And I like their team total over the 26.5, you guys. I'm looking for New Mexico State to be able to move the ball deep on Sam Houston State's secondary and put up the points. And I think they get the win. Now, when we look at New Mexico State, I do think their quarterback has that ability. And I know both of these offenses have had those struggles, but I look at Sam Houston State. They're coming off a bye last week. They're looking to get the bounce back, but they're off that terrible loss to Texas. And yes, it was Texas. They got completely destroyed 55-0. Now, I know Texas's defense is stronger here than they will see in New Mexico State, but I'm still counting on New Mexico State to be able to move that ball. And I think attacking the secondary here of Sam Houston State is how they're going to do it. So I will look at New Mexico State money line at plus 116. Now lines are moving around. And then I would also look at Sam Houston to struggle to put up the points. And that's why I'm staying off the 53.5. I just don't trust that side of things because of their offensive woes that they have had. But I will isolate New Mexico State. Team total over 26.5 points. So that's where I'm going in college football, you guys. New Mexico State money line at plus 116 and their team total over 26.5 points. Now, a couple of stats for that one. New Mexico State lost last week to New Mexico. So they're coming off a rival game, which is why I think they're the dog here at home versus Sam Houston State, because it's a bad situational spot. But I do think with how competitive they were in the fourth quarter of that game, they really transfer that into this game. New Mexico State has seen 7 of their last 7 games go over the total in conference play. So I do think this one is one where they're able to get those points on the board. So those are your trends for this game. Let's look here at a couple of trends that you could see cashing today in MLB. No official picks in MLB today. The matchup between the Padres and the Cubs, Suzuki has hit at least 1 home run in 5 of the Cubs' last 6 games. So that is your trend in that game. And then Bregman has stepped up for the Red Sox. Can he step up again today? He's got an RBI in 3 of his last 4 versus the Yankees. His RBI today is plus 181. If you think he can step up in that role, I'm just not sure he's going to be able to get there in that. So let's look at Thursday Night Football. Let's look at those trends. But before we do, I just want to bring up that poll one more time. X versus the books, you guys. If you got your votes in right now, we are seeing more and more love coming in for the LA Rams. X is on the Rams, laying the 8.5. 37% of you over on X loving that. Rams laying the 8.5. 22.2% on the plus 8.5 for the 49ers. And that over under, 22% of the love coming for the under, 18.5% coming for the over. When I quickly look to see if you guys have dropped any prop bets, not really. We're just getting a couple. Kyron Williams for his rushing yards to the over. Bet Signal AI came in with Kyron Williams plus 80 plus rushing yards at plus 141. So that's a nice plus money bet. You guys, again, head on over to X. We'll take one more look at the polls and the props before we finish up here. So if you do have anything for us, make sure you get over there. So let's look at Thursday Night Football, you guys. We got the matchup between the 49ers and the Rams. It is time to play Fade or Follow Madden plays over here. So let's look at some of those trends. We're going to look at the coaching trend first. So Kyle Shanahan versus Sean McVay. Kyle Shanahan is 10-6 against Sean McVay of all time. So he has had the coaching edge. The Rams are 3-1 against the spread this season. The 49ers 2-2. If I can talk, the over for the Rams is 2-2, which also means the under is a 2-2. And same for the 49ers. These teams are split on the over and unders. The Rams are 2-0 against the spread as a home favorite this season. 8.5. I tell you, if you didn't get the Rams laying the 5.5 like it was yesterday, or the 6.5 that it was like last night, 8.5. It's a huge number. Would I be shocked for them to win by 10 with the injuries of the 49ers? No, but would I be shocked with the 49ers, Mac Jones, not getting the respect here, coming out and getting something done? No, I wouldn't be shocked either way. So I think my best bets when I break this down, even though I like the Rams laying the 5.5 before, it's got to be some prop bets. We're going to look at the prop trend here. Devontae Adams has recorded 7 or more receptions in each of his 7 previous games versus the 49ers. Now, Devontae Adams is listed with that hamstring. He should be hitting the field. All the props are out on him. But with that hamstring issue, I worry about him. He's also the number 1 red zone target out here. for Matt Stafford. He has been getting those looks in the red zone. I'm not sure if he gets as many looks in the red zone in this game. So Davante Adams, I can't play on him. He's plus 100 to get the anytime touchdown today. And I understand if you're going to play on him. This is a big NFC West divisional matchup rivalry game between these two teams. And that 44.5 is attractive. Now, I know in a lot of these cases, people like to look at the dog. Short week here, rivalry game. And that does give you the 49ers plus the 8.5. I liked the Rams laying 5.5 and 8.5. I probably come game time, if this one ticks up to 9.5, would be looking to hedge. It's just not, I'm not feeling comfortable with the side either way now with this spread. Now there's a couple of prop bets that I'm loving. We got to talk Mac Jones first. I wanted to note here how strong Mac Jones has been. We brought it up with Jesse Scholes. He's been able to win his 2 games that he started here for the 49ers. 66.3% completion rate for 563 yards. He's moving that ball, you guys. He has a 4-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. Looking at Matt Stafford's playing his best ball of his career, in my opinion. Over his last 11 games, he's got a 19-to-3 touchdown to interception ratio. 4 games this season, he's completed 92 of 136 passes for 1,114 yards, 8 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. He has been sacked 8 times, though, you guys. 10 carries for -4 yards. Don't bet on Matt Stafford to run that ball. His interception tonight is plus 115. He's thrown 2 interceptions. Will Matt Stafford throw another interception? Will this be part of my best bets, you guys? What do you think? Drop in the questions and the comments, a live chat here. If you think Matt Stafford will throw the interception at plus 115, one thing to note, okay, this is the 49ers have one of the best pass defenses in the league, but they don't get those picks, okay? They've gone 11 straight games without a defensive interception, which is tied for the longest streak of any team over the last 85 years. 11 games without an interception. Will Matt Stafford throw it tonight? Well, in my All About the D, I'm going to tell you if I think he's going to throw it. And if he throws it, who's going to get that interception for some great plus money. So we're going to jump into that in just a second. Let's first look at these players that I'm liking for their player props. Let me find my graphic here, you guys. Here we go. Okay. Davis Allen for the touchdown, plus 430. For Davis Allen for a touchdown in this one, he's the tight end out here. For the LA Rams, there's so much value in this. He's getting the looks in the red zone. Now, he wasn't able to get a touchdown in game 3 or game 4. He did get a touchdown in game 1 and game 2. With Davante Adams getting the majority of the looks in the red zone, but questionable. I think he's going to play tonight. He has that hamstring issue. He's had 9 red zone targets in the last 3 games. His touchdowns plus 100. If you just want to roll with Davante Adams, I don't blame you. But I do think Davante Adams will get last looks if he plays tonight, and we're going to see Davis Allen get those looks in the red zone at plus 430. Definitely worth a shot when he already has 2 touchdowns on the board this season. Now, I'm also going to look at Puka Nacua. Puka Nacua to come out here and get over 95.5 receiving yards. I know this number is sky high, you guys, but you look at him last week versus the Colts, and I know there becomes that overreaction of the books of the public wanting to jump on his lines when you see a 95.5 when he had 170 receiving yards last week. I still think it's too low, though. I expect him to get into the triple digits, 100, 110. I won't be shocked for him to be able to put up these numbers here. Looking at Puka Nacua last week versus the Colts, 170 receiving yards, 1 touchdown on 13 receptions. In the first 4 games of the season, he had 42 catches, tied the most catches, most receptions in the first 4 games of the season. So he's just lighting things up, you guys. The Rams last week, what they allowed to Jonathan Taylor is where I really look at this one. When we look at Puka Nacua, what they allowed to Jonathan Taylor, I just think the Rams have the ability to give him the big plays, right? Matt Stafford's going to throw that ball. He's going to throw it deep. Now, I want to look at Christian McCaffrey here, and that's where I was going with the Rams allowing to Jonathan Taylor. Christian McCaffrey over his rushing yards. It's 58.5, you guys. It's minus 114. I talked with Dre and I talked with Jesse about the fact that CMC is not being used in the run game. I know Brian Robinson Jr. would be a nice look here for those rushing yards, but I think CMC is utilized more in this game. Like I said, Jonathan Taylor of the Colts last week, the Rams did allow him to get 76 yards, and I think CMC can get right around those numbers. So I'll take CMC over 58.5 rushing yards. I'm going to look at Puka Nacua over 95.5 receiving yards, and the anytime touchdown. It's minus 105. I can't believe we're getting so much value on Puka. And then the tight end there for the Rams, Davis Allen for the touchdown at plus 430. Now, I wanted to quickly look at some 49er props. They're not going to be my best bet there for those anytime touchdowns, but just where I would be looking to go. Now, CMC is minus 110 for the anytime touchdown. I can't go there. I want some more value in that. Kendrick Bourne, though, Jesse pointed it out. He was the wide receiver for Mac Jones in Mac Jones's rookie year. He is coming in at plus 340 to get the anytime touchdown. I think it's a strong look for him for the anytime touchdown. If you think Brian Robinson Jr. is going to be able to run that in, that's coming in at plus 700. So I do think there is great plus money on the 49ers to be able to get those touchdowns on the board. And I don't think they're completely held off the board with how we have seen Mac Jones perform out here. I do think he gets a lot of bias. Now let's look at the Thursday night football, all about the D, and then we're going to finish up here. So Thursday night football, all about the D. Matt Stafford to throw the interception. I have to go there, you guys. He's already thrown 2 interceptions on the season, and the 49ers defense, they got a great defense against the pass. The problem is they haven't been getting those interceptions. They haven't got the interceptions in the last 11 games, which, like I said, has tied the record for the last 85 years for the longest stretch without an interception. Give me Matt Stafford to throw that interception tonight, and I'm going to take a shot on Fred Warner here to record the interception. He's coming in at plus 800 to record the interception on Matt Stafford. So again, that's Matt Stafford to throw the interception at plus 115. Fred Warner to record the interception at plus 800. Long shot bet there for sure, you guys. Okay, that is the show, you guys. We're going to take one more look at X versus the books, where you guys are sitting with the poll tonight in Thursday night football. It's looking pretty close, you guys. 23.9% loving the under 44.5. So X is on the under and X is on the Rams, laying the 8.5. Interesting to see that correlation there with the Rams laying the points and this one staying under the total. A lot of people expecting the 49ers just not to be able to put those points on the board. The books will be needing, if X is a good reflection of the true market, the books will be needing the 49ers plus the 8.5 and the over 44.5. But that's it for us today, you guys. We're going to do a quick recap here of all the handicappers, best bets, Dre Rich and Jesse Scholes, and then my best bets. And then I'm going to send you on your way. Make sure you do join us here tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern as well. And tomorrow you do have that. Grab $7 best bets from all your participating handicappers at picksandparlays.net. So head on over to the site for that. And if you're looking for the football packages this weekend, that Weekend Warrior is up and running. You get every football play from your Picks and Parlays handicapper choice for Saturday and Sunday for only $49. As an added bonus, they will give you Monday's plays for free. So jumping into Dre's Thursday night football plays, you got them right there. He is liking the under 45.5. It has moved to 44.5. You guys, he's liking those field goals. He's liking the receiving yards, and he's liking the under for total yards for McCaffrey. When we look at Dre for MLB, he's on the Cubs today and he's on the Yankees today, and a bunch of props in that one. And he also is liking the Georgia Bulldogs on Saturday, laying the 20 points. Jesse Scholes is rolling with Kendrick Bourne over 3.5 receptions at -125. Again, if you think he can get in the end zone, you guys, plus 370 for Kendrick Bourne to get in the end zone. He's also rolling with Cleveland today, laying the -118 on the money line. That line is ticking up. Get it now before it's too late. Thursday night football for me, I'm liking the tight end of the Rams, Davis Allen, for the touchdown at plus 430. Puka Nacua over his receiving yards and the anytime touchdown, as well as CMC over his rushing yards. In college football tonight, I will take New Mexico State money line at plus 116 over Sam Houston State. And then I'll take New Mexico State's team total over 26.5 at -112. And we can't forget, it's all about that D, you guys. Thursday night football, all about the D. Give me Matt Stafford to throw an interception. The 49ers to break that trend there that they haven't had an interception in their last 11 games, making that 85 years since we have seen that happen for a team. And then give me Fred Warner to be the hero of this one, to record that interception at plus 800. You guys, thanks so much for joining me here on All-Jo Madden on Picks and Parlays. Do me a solid, hit that like, hit that subscribe, and hit that notification button over here on YouTube, so that you know when all these free videos drop. We do have a bunch of free pick videos dropping on the daily here on Picks and Parlays on YouTube. And again, if you're looking for the handicappers best bets, head on over to picksandparlays.net. We will see you here tomorrow. Loaded show again tomorrow. So until then, you guys, stay hot and let's make some freaking money.